sex appeal. We all want it, but can side effect from Initio get it for you? It's time to begin your carnal initiation. Whispers about a new ultra-niche fragrance brand began about 7 years ago in 2015. Since then, Initio Parfum Prives fragrances have become more widely available from independents and quality department stores here in the UK, and they're becoming increasingly popular. A French sister fragrance house to Parfum de Marly, the idea behind Initio is to initiate a return to the carnal, seductive, mystic, if not fantastical origins of fragrance and its uses, injecting eroticism into each fragrance throughout the whole range. Their goal was to achieve this by paying particular attention to specific ingredients and notes, often indulged to excess, in an attempt to stimulate your senses and stir your desires with fragrances that are charismatic, carnal and opulent. Created in 2016, Side Effect is part of Initio's Carnal Blends collection, alongside the fragrances High Frequency, Psychedelic Love and Atomic Rose, and is a fragrance for both men and women and comes in an eau de parfum concentration. The presentation, whilst chunky and angular, a broad rectangular bottle with chamfered corners, does have an air of opulence. An opaque deep purple with incised gold filigree inlay reminds me of some of the decoration I saw at the Alhambra Palace in Granada. The matte surface of the highly tactile bottle has a feel of hard vulcanized rubber, an early opportunity to get your kink on. Enough fumbling, it's time to remove the stays and sample the fragrance. From the first spray, my immediate thought is quality leather. After reading the list of notes, this is a fragrance of accords. I will link a video at the end with more information on accords. In the top we have notes of cinnamon bark and rum. Over time I do get a slightly boozy note of rum, and this is a spicy fragrance, but a good quality leather is the first accord I get. With time, the leather accord begins to subside, and I can begin to discern some of the individual notes making up that accord. Saffron begins to come into its own and heralds a tobacco note that, as it gets stronger, reveals it provided the base to the leather accord. Time moves on again, and hints of citrus sparkle and tantalise, and there's jasmine as the hedione makes itself known. The hedione is concentrated. There's a lot of hedione. Did I mention the hedione? The tobacco is beginning to lighten, the leather is back again, tinged with sweet and bitter notes, slight chocolate and vanilla. The whole fragrance is slightly animalistic. This might sound weird, but it smells of clean, fresh skin. In the base we have edibles. I'm still picking up a hint of honeyed chocolate and woods. Just a touch of powder and warmth from sandalwood, and there is a green woodiness that I think is coming from vanilla. As the fragrance recedes to a skin scent, the powder becomes more prevalent. The fragrance is now much softer. I am reminded of a couple of other fragrances. Ellie prompted me to look at the 774 from Jamal. Although very different fragrances, the 774 is much smoother. The saffron note in both 774 and Side Effect does unfold in a similar manner. The other fragrance that Side Effect reminds me of is Eau de Hermès by Hermès. Both have that blend of leather, vanilla and spice, and both are animalistic. The Eau de Hermès is more animalistic and smoother. On my skin, Side Effect projection is enormous, a good 7 to 8 feet imperial or 2.1 to 2.4 meters continental. Sillage again on my skin is fantastical in its proportions, not so much a skin scent or a skin trail as it is a 3-lane motorway. Longevity on my skin, as always, is monumental. Side Effect would give the Energizer Bunny more than a run for its money and lap it twice with tread to spare. This fragrance takes a good 4 to 5 hours to run through its initial fragrance pyramid. I got 14 hours plus wear before it reduced to a skin scent, and it was still present on clothing 24 to 36 hours later. A word of caution, side effect is already animalistic and becomes more so when mixed with odour fuggy armpit, and not in a good way. If compliments are what you're after, I got a few. That may be due to my general decrepitude, but I have fragrance in my collection that garner more compliments, such as the Jamal 774, Eau de Hermes, and other amber fragrances such as Atkinson's Amber Empire. My very first reaction to side effect was, oh, another leather fragrance. At first it appeared to be a fragrance of 3 acts and accords. The first act leather, the second act animalistic, and a finale of woods and vanilla. It isn't until the fragrance is well into its cycle of notes that I started to discover the nuances, flashes and cameos from other individual notes. Will side effect from Initio Parfum Prives be going into my collection? Has Initio managed to bottle sex appeal? Yes, it's going into my collection, but it's not a fragrance that will be in my rotation. I did enjoy the fragrance. It was, although I wouldn't say opulent, I would say raw. It was carnal, at times harsh, climactic before softening, warming. It was interesting. I've run out of time. I'll see you again soon.